to Knit One, Heart Two, episode
43. Yay! And we have 653 members on the Raft group.
Yay! I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy on Ravelry, Penny Wendy 2 on Spark People.
And I just want to make one little statement. 41 weeks, give or take, to Rhinebeck.
Yay! Not like we're counting down to it or anything.
Well, we just booked our trip, so we are definitely going to Rhinebeck.
Yes. Yay. We are going to be there for the entire weekend, people.
Friday and Saturday night, and we're going to be in New York.
Yep, we're staying in Rhinebeck area.
So, yay!
Yay.
Other than that...
Book now, people, if you want to get a hotel.
Well, weren't you saying that the week's empty, full?
Yes.
Empty.
We got one of the last 2 rooms at the place that we're staying. So.
Yay.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. And I was going to say, just as we're starting out, I am wearing the Summer's End sweater that I knit that has sleeves that are way too long. And Sheila is wearing
my Mountain Ash shawl.
In case
which is out of Debbie Bliss Alpaca, and it's a little chilly. We're recording at my house. It's a little chilly on this section of the house, which is separated from where my wood-burning stove is, which Wendy thinks is boiling hot.
It's really hot in the other room.
71 degrees in the other room and 63 in this room. And it's like walking through a doorway.
Going into the walk-in freezer.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know why it's so bad. Usually it's not that bad. But anyways, let's jump right in onto the dance card.
Sheila's gone first this week because I went first last week.
I have what I'm calling my fruity socks on the needles.
I love those.
It's a Wendy D. Johnson's detailed short row toe up pattern. Her pattern is short row toe. I'm only doing the short row heel. I'm doing the Judy's Magic cast on toe. And hey, it's about the same place it was last week.
Yes, it is.
But it's sock 2.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
Dun, da, da, da.
Very nice.
These are my 2 socks. I worked very hard to get the striping to match.
I love that yarn.
I really do. The base is her bounce base. This is Fiber Nymph's Bounce Base, which is an 80-20 in the Fruit Loop colorway. And the color is just so rich. I'm trying to find a good... You can't really see it. We have like a ton of lighting today, but...
I think you can see it pretty well if you put it right here. It's very bright.
The orange, but it's a rich bright. It's not annoying bright. It's a rich
You know
color.
what it looks like? Fruit Loops.
Yeah. You know how Fruit Loops is sometimes muted, sometimes not?
Lisa Beamer, I'm going to be PMing you when you're doing some custom dye because I want you to make a similar colorway for my mom, only not striping. My mom would love that yarn if it wasn't striping.
She'd go crazy for the striping like I did.
Yeah,
I didn't try too hard. I just knew where I wanted to stop on this sock and roughly where to begin on this one. These are for Zachary. They're a little big for him, which is what I wanted, and they're a little small for me, which is also what I wanted. Yeah. So that when he outgrows them, they become mine. They're done on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters, and like I said, it's the Fiber Nymph dye bounce. It's so squishy, and I love the striping. And I tell you, it just amazes me how she did 6 stripes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 stripes, and they're decent sized stripes,
and they're nice and even and gorgeous. Yeah, I like that.
They're very gorgeous.
Good job, Fiber Nymph.
So that's my first project on the needles. My second project is the super easy baby blanket. And I'm in the middle of a row.
What were you thinking?
I don't know, because I don't remember the last...
That's cray-cray, man.
I'm almost at the end of a row. But these are the colors that I've done so far. The main color is going to be the cream color, or the off-white. I can't see. And then that's a blue. I'd say it's a royal blue.
Yeah.
And then I finally brought the rest of the yarn to show you. So I'm doing 1 stripe in cream, 1 stripe in green, cream, blue, cream. Then I'm doing this variegated.
Oh, that's pretty.
The blue and the green are not as rich.
But they're pretty.
But it will tie in together.
Yeah, it will.
Then I might do 2 stripes in cream.
Mm-hmm.
And then do the reverse on the other side. But let me just tell you, I love this squishiness of this blanket.
Me too. I love a cotton blanket.
I aim for, because it's not my own child, I don't aim for the heirloom quality of it.
Right.
Because I want them to be able to care for it. If it was my own child, I would aim for the heirloom quality because I would know how to take care of it.
Right.
But I aim for the wubby.
Yeah.
The wubby that gets dragged left and right and doesn't want it, cries if you forget about it or whatever. That's what my aim is for when I do baby blankets. I aim for the wubby.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, well, it's cotton, it's washable, it may shrink a little.
Especially with the first-time mom who hasn't...
Right.
They're just getting up to speed with how to take care of the freaking baby, They don't need to be worrying about hand mitts.
Exactly. And this can be washed in with, regular blankets and stuff, so it won't be a big deal. Now, the other thing I have on the needle has had no love. Absolutely, positively none. It's Max's hoodie, The Wonderful Wallaby by Carol Anderson, and the Patent Shetland Chunky. The one thing I did do for that one is I've gotten, I think, 3 more skeins.
Good.
Of it. So I can really work on it with the 50% off coupon. And
good.
So that's all for my works in progress. I'm just trying to finish up the row on this.
Okay, so well, I'll start out with the works in progress that I am still working on, but I haven't worked on them.
I just wanted to show how big. And that's going to be a good size.
Yeah, that's a good size.
Like,
pull it more my way. There you go.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Yeah. That's not stretched out. So I've done this one before, but I love the colors. I'm really liking the colors. So
yeah, pretty. I think she's really going to like it.
Yeah, I think she will too.
So on the needles this week, on the dance card, Lysianthus, I didn't bring it because I didn't work on it again. My bad. I really am going to get back to that. But I'm focusing on my sweater right now. So, because I was sidetracked. I had startitis after January 1st, and I knit a bunch of things, and now I'm back on track. So Lysianthus by Rosemary Hill has not been worked on, but it's next to my chair, and as soon as the sweater gets done, that's going to be my #1 project. So I'm not going to bother to go into the details on that. And as always, my flowered hexagon blanket by Jessie Rayott. I haven't touched that either because I haven't had a spare moment between everything that I'm working on and spinning to work on that. But that's definitely something I'm going to work on soon too. I really want to get the sweater off the needles. And the sweater, as everyone knows, is the wrought iron cardigan by Stephanie Talent. And I got a lot of work done on it this week. It will be a book published by Cooperative Press, and it will be coming out, I believe, a little birdie told me, February.
Oh, all right.
So if you want to pre-order it now, you can. It'll also be published as an ebook, and the hardcover book will come with the ebook automatically so that you can print out.
You sure it's not the other way around? The hardcover, the ebook comes with the hardcover book.
No. You can either buy an ebook or you can buy the hardcover book and it automatically comes with the ebook.
Okay, but I think the way you said it is if you purchase the ebook, the hardcover comes automatically.
No,
That's what it sounded like to me.
Well, you know what I mean. If you buy the book, you get the ebook. If you buy the ebook, you just get the ebook. And you can order it. We have the link. It's been on the links before. But here it is. This is the back. As you can see, I hemmed the... I forgot to bring my pattern one time when I went to karate, so I did the hem. It's a fold-over hem. I like the way that it looks. It gives it a nice finished look, and when it blocks out, it won't be quite so insane. There you go. And I finished one sleeve. Also has a fold-over hem. You can get a better idea of how that cuff how the edging looks when it's done. And the sleeve has this nice patterning up it. And I have a little sad story about this sweater. So I finished the sleeve on Monday, this sleeve, and I hemmed it and got it all finished because when I was at karate and I forgot my pattern, I hemmed the bottom and I wove in all the ends because I didn't have anything else to occupy my time. I had 45 minutes to kill. So when I finished the sleeve, I went ahead and finished it so that when I finished the sleeve on this side, I'll just have that hem and the shawl collar to do. and then the sweater will be done. I won't have to do finishing at the end. So that's kind of good. So Monday night, I picked up for the neck sleeve because it's a set-in sleeve, but it's created by Short Rows. And I got all the way down to the point where I was going to stop doing the short rows and start knitting in the round. And it just looked crazy to me because I don't know how I did this, but I had put the sleeve, it's supposed to go evenly back and forth across the top. I had gotten it off by like 5 stitches so that it was like sideways, so that the sleeve, the shoulder was sideways. I can't explain it. There were way more stitches here on the front of the sweater than on the back of the sweater, like it was sideways, which would have made it look very odd if I continued to go. So I, last night, had to rip it back all the way to the pickup again. Very sad. But as you can see, by picking up the stitches and doing it this way, you get a nice, that stripe on the shoulder continues down the sleeve, and you can see it really nicely on this one. See? Oops. There you go. It just continues without breaking, which I think is really pretty. And I think the set-in sleeves look nice. She has a nice way of doing them. So, yeah, I'm working on this. My big plan is to finish this.
Yeah, you have all the parts of the pattern.
Yep, I have everything. She updated the sleeve pattern, and she gave it to me before I cast on for the sleeves. And everything else. Once I finish this sleeve, which I hope to finish by next week, then I will knit on the shawl collar. And it's a really wide collar. But I've tried it on a few times, and it fits beautifully. So,
well,
I'm very happy with it. It's going to be good. It'll look so much nicer when you can see it all the way finished. So this is in Dream and Color Classy in the Happy Forest colorway, which is my favorite DIC colorway. And I'm knitting it on US 8, I'm US 6 4mm needles. And really enjoying it. I haven't had 1 minute when I wasn't enjoying knitting on this, but I feel bad. As a podcaster, I feel like I need to get this off the needle so that I can do something else for a change, because it's like the same project every week.
Well, but you've had other projects on with it.
I know, but I need, for my own peace of mind, I need to get it done. Also, I want to wear it.
Yeah.
If we ever get cold weather, I might need a sweater.
Well, I'd say you could wear that when the weather we're having now.
Yes.
I just wouldn't wear anything else with it.
No. Like naked.
No.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
It's not a coat.
So anyway, that's wrought iron cardigan. It's going really well. And that's all I have on the needles right now.
Okay, we move on to rate your date.
Yep.
Got nothing.
Nothing?
Except for that one. I got one sock done.
Oh, I have stuff.
But I was going to try and finish this because I am almost done with this, but I didn't knit last night. I was tired.
Sometimes you have to take a break. I have several things to rate. First of all, in my podcaster challenge bag, because it's still damp, because I blocked it last night and it did not dry very fast. I have
in front of the fire, it'll dry.
Oh, I should. Bitty Cabled Cardigan by Heather Cabanas for Knit Picks. It's $2.50 on Ravelry, and for the international buyers, and it's $1.99 on the Knit Picks website. We got a comment from a viewer who explained why it's 2 different prices. Well, not that it's 2, but why they can't sell. You can't buy it on Knit Picks. I cannot talk this morning. Apparently, in order to make a purchase on Knit Picks, you have to create an account, and the account requires that you have an address in Canada or the U.S.
Which makes sense.
Because they only ship there. But, Knit Picks people, if you're out there, maybe you could make an option for e-pattern only accounts that people could buy from foreign countries.
Well, not even that, but if they're selling at $1.99, why can't they sell it on Ravelry for $1.99?
Yeah, I wondered about that too, but I wasn't going to say it.
That's where I would question
wrong.
it, because there was a pattern that I liked on Knit Picks. Now, it might have been $1.99 on Knit Picks and $2 on Ravelry. I'm like, all right, 1 penny different isn't a big deal, but why not sell the pattern? If you don't want the $1.99, then sell it at $2 on Ravelry for the international people.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Because it's a really nice pattern. Now, I have a sad about this. I'm showing it as a finished object because I'm going to sew the buttons on it and then I'm going to be done with it. So here it is. Came out really cute, but I want you to notice I'm blocking it last night. I'm going to get it all pinned out, and I noticed something. Can you notice it? There's the front. Can you notice it? This front is one stitch wider. It's like off center. I don't know what I did. I did something crazy. I started the decreases in the wrong place on one side, like a little bit early or something. So I'm calling that a design feature. It's like the asymmetrical cardigan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see for a second.
It's cute.
It is cute.
Came out really cute.
I'm gonna put it. I just want to see. So okay.
It's just a little off center.
Oh no, I'm not even looking at that. I'm just looking at the. Oh, yeah. You would think one stitch wouldn't make a big deal, but when it's so little of stitches in the first place.
It's totally, you can see how different it is. So I was like, how did I not notice that? I knit this entire sweater and I didn't notice it. But anyway, I think it came out really cute. It has garter stitch sleeves. My modification that I did was I mirrored the cables. I can't get it to, there you go. You can see I mirrored the cables because I don't like it. Of course, then it ended up being asymmetrical on the front, so there went everything that I did. So that's this. I knit this out of Martha Stewart Extra Soft Wool Blend on US 8 5mm needles. And I really enjoyed this yarn. It's taken a long time to dry, and I don't know if it's because the acrylic in the yarn is impeding the ability of the wool to dry, but this has been drying for like 20 hours, and it's still really damp. It's also kind of a heavy wool. So anyway, there's that. And the second thing is the Bee Loving Hat by Melissa Simpson, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I did it in the same Martha Stewart wool on US 8 5mm needles. And I liked this pattern. It was very quick. Oh, I need to cut off an end. It was very quick. Nice little hat. One thing that disturbed me is that you cast on a certain number of stitches for the newborn, and this is the newborn size, which I think is crazy. It seems giant. But it's, it's a hat. A baby can grow into it, so I'm not that fussed about it. But one thing that disturbed me is the number of stitches that you cast on for the newborn size. The decreases didn't work evenly with it. It was like an odd number of stitches. Like if it had just been 2 stitches less or less, or if it had been 4 stitches less, it would have worked out evenly. So I kind of did the top myself to distribute the extra stitches evenly so it wouldn't look wonky, because they had them all gathered on one side. So you would have had one little decreased wedge that was way bigger than the other ones.
Oh, that's odd.
So, I mean, the pattern's really nice, but if that kind of symmetry bothers you, that will bother you, because it bothered me. But it's a free pattern on Ravelry, very well written and easy to understand. And the other way that this cap grows with the baby is you can fold that down and it gets even bigger. But since it's for a newborn, I folded it.
And this is for
my friend Kara. She's having a baby in like 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm done.
No, not that soon.
She's due in the middle of February,
right.
like the same time that my son was born. So yeah, in a few more weeks.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I got that done. And then the last thing I have to rate my date are Wendy's Generic Toe-Up Socks by Wendy Johnson, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I haven't woven in the ends yet. I knit these on US 2.75mm needles. And
short row heel.
I did a short row heel, and I didn't do her, it's the same sock that Sheila's doing. I used Judy's Magic Cast On for the toe because the short row toe is insane, and I never do it. And this is out of my hand spun from 6 Cats Knitting Around BFL in the Mommy Needs to Spin Yarn colorway that I won in the Podcasters Challenge.
And I'm sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. The carting company,
the carting
Trash
company.
Day Today, is here. So
that's what you hear in the background.
Hearing, yeah.
So people commented like this: I don't make long legs on my socks. I don't like a long leg. I like it to be about this long, because if it gets any longer, then I can feel it crinkling down. I like it to be low.
See, I like mine long because I like to slouch mine down.
But these socks are my magic socks, and if you were with us on virtual knit night, you will hear me telling people it only took me 3 days to knit these socks. I've never had that happen before. I think the fastest I've ever knit a pair of socks is like a week to 10 days. So I don't know if it was, I don't know.
I'm sure it's the short row heel. Because if you're not familiar with the short row heel, basically you're taking half the stitches, like one side of the stitches if you're doing a magic loop.
And you
do a short rows, and then you short row back to make a heel. Like this.
And you pick up the stitches.
You're not increasing for gusset, and then you're not decreasing on the heel flap if you're doing toe up, or vice versa.
So much faster.
Yeah, it probably cuts down at least a day or two of knitting time.
And it makes a nice heel, and they fit really nicely.
Some people don't like the fit, but it depends. It depends on what you like.
They fit my heel really nicely.
People, what they think tall arches, or maybe there's something to it that, different,
But if you don't like sock knitting, you should definitely, because it takes too long, you should definitely try a pair of these, and it might convert you. I was tempted to cast on another pair right away to see if it was, it would happen again, but I'm not that crazy. So they came out good. I love them. And it was really funny because the second sock, I can tell the consistency of the spinning is better because it was more in the middle of the thing than the first sock, which came off from the beginning of the spinning.
Okay.
But they're nice. I don't think they'll wear very well because it's hand spun.
Is there nylon in it though?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they would wear very well. But, what else was I going to do with this yarn?
But you're not going to, it's something to wear around the house.
It's not really a hard wearing sock. So.
Well, it's a little big too, so didn't you say they were a little big?
Actually, they fit really nicely.
Good. Okay.
I would put them on now, but I don't feel like putting my leg up there. So, so that's it. I really enjoyed doing this, and I can highly recommend the short row heel, my new favorite heel, which I am going to use.
And the detailed one that Wendy does goes row by row. If you want to do a short row toe and a short row heel, or
and
you can just
never done it before, she has really good instructions.
Yeah, she really does.
So I enjoyed it.
Our friend Tara, hi Tara, she didn't like knitting socks because of the heel flap and the heel turn, and this is the type of sock I turned her on to.
Yeah. Well,
now she just doesn't have time because she's got 2 little ones.
Yeah, she has a little baby. Well, he's not really little anymore.
No, but we've all been there. You have less knitting time when your kids are really younger. I mean, my youngest is 8. He's pretty self-sufficient. He can do pretty much anything on his own, so I don't need to take care of him.
Yeah, but it's different when you have like a 1-year-old.
18-month, I think, is the youngest.
So that's it for me. And
then
dates. Now I got to do whirlwind romance.
Oh, is that when we do whirlwind?
Yeah.
I never know.
Because it's like a finished object.
Yeah, all right. That's good to remember.
I don't have it every week, so we don't know.
Well, I don't have it ever, so.
Well, you will eventually.
Maybe.
So the first thing I have is I got 2 ounces of my Spunky Eclectic Targhee in the Red Rover colorway. I got that spun.
You can see it getting better, too.
I am. It's getting much more consistent. I used my Lazy Kate. This is the first time I used my Lazy Kate, and it really helped control the plies when I was doing it, so I was really happy. I'm loving this. It's a light fingering most of the time, not always. And it's got some pale purples and a little bit orange, and I have 8 ounces of it, and I got this is about 100 yards, so I will be able to get 400 yards out of it, and I will have enough to make the backpack that I said I would make my daughter out of the Zoe yarn.
The fiber compared to that is so different.
I know.
Because the fiber was more orange.
You can't really, a lot of the orange just blended in. I love it. I think it's a really pretty color. The orange is very subtle because it blended with the red a lot. So I think it'll make a really pretty backpack. And it's 3-plied, so I think it'll wear well for like a purse or whatever. So there's that. And the second thing I want to talk about, I am doing my first spin-along. I am a member of the Fat Cat Knits group, and because I was browsing around on Etsy, like I shouldn't be, and I saw this colorway called Wizard Island, and by coincidence, it happened to be the colorway that is the colorway of the month. Here, you can take a look at that. Let me just take the bobbin out.
God, the
Unfortunately, I know, it's really beautiful. Unfortunately, I don't. Oh, you can show them that. Just don't mess it up because I have.
No.
Don't undo it because I have it.
Look
so
at
I
that
can
green.
Spin it the right way. I'm
that
fractals.
Is a rich green.
It has a beautiful jewel toned purple too, and you can. I wish you could see it has a teal in there. I'm gonna unroll this one because this isn't one that I'm working on right now. I don't think. Now I don't remember which one I'm working on.
This one, I'm taking a guess because it's smaller, but I could be
wrong. It's the fattest one I'm working on.
Then I think it's this one.
Yeah, that's probably it. So if you look, it has jewel tone. It has this teal green. It was really rich on the end that I just spun. And what I did is I divided it for, that's where I ended spinning. I divided it for fractal spinning. So I divided the braid in half lengthwise, and then I divided the rest of it into rough thirds.
Thirds, okay.
So it should be an interesting, it should look interesting when I get it done. You can really see some of the bright colors on that one. It's gorgeous. All these colors are like my colors, my favorite colors.
Oh.
So,
and you can see your improvement.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot better. This is spinning for fingering weight, so it's hard to see.
There we go. Towards me. No.
Oh.
See the black?
Yeah. I'm getting much more consistent.
Yeah.
I found the whirl that really works for me is the high speed whirl on the smaller ratio. So I've been using that. I wish you could see the teal that came right after this purple because it's so beautiful.
Oh,
I had a big chunk of the teal. You can kind of, if you peel back here, you can kind of see it. This is about an ounce, I think. I have 3 ounces, and this wouldn't be about an ounce. This is about a third of the first half, and I don't do math, so I can't tell you what that is. Anyway, I love it, and if you want to join the spin along, just pick up anything. She has a ton of bases, any base in the colorway, Wizard Island, and you can join the spin along. And I know our friend Kim from Butterfly Yarns, local yarn store, is a member. She just joined it, and she had already done some sport. She did sport weight. Mine's hopefully going to be a light fingering weight. I've never done fractal spinning before. I'm interested to see how it looks, how different it might look from just randomly spinning and plying. Mm-hmm. If I notice any difference, I don't know if I will. I can't really tell. So that's fun. But I did a lot of spinning this week, and so I didn't get as much done on the sweater and the other stuff as I wished. But that's it for Whirlwind Romance. Those are it.
So I'm going on to future dates. I have a few things on the future dates. I had made those fingerless mitts for the bus driver, the yellow and the black. It was a yellow fingerless mitt with the black trim here, one more stripe, and then right on the thumb.
Mitts.
Right on the thumb. It matched a bus perfectly. It matched the yellow and the black of a bus perfectly. Well, she had stopped me the last day of school and asked if I would make her 4 more. And so I got to start working on those. So
she offered to pay Sheila, but Sheila was like, no,
fine. She does a lot. She's really good. She waited for Zachary the other day, even though he wasn't getting on, and I waved her aside. So she does a lot for us. Our bus stop technically isn't a bus stop. So she stops in front of my house. Just happens to be at the end of the street. And then she stops and picks up Zachary. And I mean, technically, she doesn't have to do that. She's been the bus driver for the last 3 or so years. So I really appreciate it. Plus, I'm going to be using scraps for hers. So why pay for scraps when I'm happy to get rid of them? So I was going to cast on another sock after this. But I'm like, no, let me get working on those. Because this is my 1 sock for this month. Because I'm aiming for 12.
Well,
then
that's right.
I got to start my friend's baby sweater, which is kind of started. I just need to work on it. I got to work on Max's hoodie.
Yeah.
And I also brought out the pattern for my next pair of socks that I am going to knit. It's not going to be plain stockinette, but it's the Scylla. Scylla, sorry.
It's from the Greek legend of Scylla and Charybdis.
Okay.
Probably pronouncing those all the way wrong, but that's how I understand they're to be pronounced.
So here's a picture with a boat. Scylla. It's a slip stitch pattern. It's free, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free. So I'm doing it with this in my medium, my Socks at Rock medium from a skein that Diane of Knittables gave me. It's called Frankenhen.
Yeah, I like that.
You haven't seen this one, but
if
it's
you look
gorgeous.
on my project page, I did Scylla in Socks That Rocks medium weight.
A lot of people did. So this is what I'm planning on doing for my next socks. So the earliest or the latest I'm hoping to cast on is February.
It really does something wonderful for heavily variegated yarns. It's just really amazing. And it knit up like that. It was a good knit.
Yeah, so that's my next one
knit.
for my sock knitting. And then that's it for future date.
Yeah, and my future dates are nothing until this sweater gets done. And then I'm going to make another dinosaur hat for our friend Courtney.
Yes.
But her baby's not due for a while, so...
April, it's not that.
Yeah. Well, I had to get one done for a January baby shower and a first week of February baby. So I'm like, Courtney's like, that's way away.
True.
I can definitely wait until after I finish the sweater to work on that hat.
So on to crushes and heartbreaks.
Yep.
I have a couple. This is a crush and a heartbreak. It's kind of a funny story.
What?
So yesterday I worked, I slept, I got a lot done. We went to the gym, and then I had some errands to do. I bought some yarn. I come home. I'm talking on the phone with Zachary's nurse, which he doesn't need labs for a month, so I'm excited about that. That was a crush. No labs for Zachary for a month.
Yay.
I come home, and Cam has this brand new white mailbox in his hand. I'm like, why do you have a mailbox in your hand? Apparently our neighbor, while waiting for one of the kids at the bus stop, either got a new truck or a bigger truck than he's used to, backed into our mailbox.
Aww.
Now, our mailbox was teeter-tottering on falling off anyways. The post that it's in is stable. Yeah. It was the metal part that teeter-tottered. So he was nice enough, the neighbor, to go and get a new mailbox with the numbers for our house and give it to Cam. Well, he's like, Cam's like, you didn't have to do that. And he's like, no, I did. And I looked at the mailbox because I'm like, well, maybe he just knocked it over because it was really teeter-totter. No, he kind of crushed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you destroy someone's mailbox, Miss Manners would say, replace that mailbox.
Right, but still, I mean, it was really, he really didn't have to, but it was very nice of him. So we now have a bright, shiny new mailbox.
Well, that's nice.
It was nice. That's the only crush and heartbreak I
have. Okay, my crush is the neti pot, which Sheila convinced me to use last week right after we recorded because I was suffering from migraines.
But for
sinus headaches, I mean.
Just make a note, use distilled water.
Yeah.
Because there is a bacteria going around in some southern
wells. Louisiana, in well water, you can get these amoebas that if they get in your brain will not be good for you at all.
And some people have died from those amoebas by doing the neti pot.
By using the neti pot.
Only in Louisiana.
I spoke with the doctor about it, and while he said personally it grosses him out, that he thought if I used distilled water, I would be fine. So I have been using distilled water, and I did it for 3 days, morning and night, and I have not had a sinus headache since
For anyone who's not familiar with a neti pot, it looks like a little tea kettle, and what you do is you pour warm saline solution
into your nose, and it comes out the other side. It's really gross.
Oh, it sounds really gross, but it is very soothing. She didn't believe me.
I didn't. I bought a neti pot because I've been suffering from sinus problems for like 8 months.
It's good for allergies too.
Yes, because I have allergies, and I was afraid to use it, but the pain got so bad last week that's how bad it was.
Desperate.
I was willing to do anything to stop the pain. I actually use room temperature distilled water. Because it's kind of an extra step to have to put the distilled water in the microwave.
Well, and then you could heat it up too much.
Yeah. Which works it's fine. The only thing to remember if you use one is it tells you to breathe through your mouth. You need to keep breathing through your mouth. If you stop breathing because you're like, is it working? Then it's going to come down the back of your nose. And you will not enjoy that sensation. But you only have to have that happen to you once. It'll never happen again.
But, which I was there for.
Yes, I was like, I almost threw up. It was so bad, but it's not going to happen again. But it really did work.
Yeah.
So yay for homeopathic medicine, the neti pot, who knew?
Yeah, because it's just saline solution.
Just be safe, use distilled.
Yeah, just on the safe side.
And my heartbreak is my day of knitting fail, which was yesterday when I had to rip out the sleeve, and then I noticed that I had totally knit the front of that baby sweater off center.
That's
you know, I've been knitting for almost 40 years. Still screw up all the time. That baby sweater, I was like, how did that even happen? Like, and I never noticed it until I blocked it.
Well, that just proves that you're human.
I know. It just cracks me up because you would think that you'd be less likely to have that kind of... I mean, these are both me miscounting. So, I don't know, maybe I'm losing my mind. I might be losing my ability to count correctly.
That's a possibility.
But yeah, that was my heartbreak.
So on to Baubles and Blings. I already showed you the Blue Moon Socks at Rock, which technically isn't a bauble this week, but I haven't showed you guys that one before. So my other one this is the yarn that I'm knitting for Max. I got more patent Shetland Chunky, and on Virtual Knit Night somebody was talking about how nice it is to work with, and it's very nice to work with.
Yeah, I like Patton's yarn.
It goes quick, but it's soft and squishy. It's 75% acrylic, 25% wool, so it's a decent amount. And I got the acrylic blend for Max because, let's face it, he's a boy.
Yeah.
He wears rough on it, but I just wanted to show you a nice close look on that. This is the charcoal colorway. And hopefully next week you'll see more progress on his sweater because I should be done with the socks. And that will then become my work knitting.
Good. Is that it?
For Baubles and Bling, yeah.
I have two things because I went a little crazy. I already showed you my Fat Cat knits, which I fell off the wagon and bought last week. And
were you on the wagon?
No.
I didn't think so.
I have more fiber coming in the mail. I'm out of control. I have a club coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I have some from Atomic Blue. Okay, so here's one thing. This wasn't so bad. Well, it was a little bad. This is Spirit Trail Fiberworks. Spirit Trail Fiberworks one-of-a-kind hand-painted yarns and fibers. And this is one of her luxury bats. It's merino, silk, and angora. Feel it. It's just like gorge. It's 50% merino, 30% silk, and 20% angora. And it's in the Chalcedony colorway, which is grayish blue, which is one of my favorite colors.
See, now I see purple.
There's a little purple in it. The blue gets a little purple. It's kind of a hyacinth blue, so
yeah, okay.
It's got a little purple in it, but it's mostly gray and blue. It's gonna be so soft. I have had this out on my couch for a while, and we were just petting it because it sounds like a little pet. So I got that. I got this from the Loopy U. And I love Spirit Trail Fiberworks. I have a ton of her yarn. In fact, I think she's one of the first 3 independent dyers that I ever bought from. And so I adore her. And she's really nice. I've met her a couple times at festivals. She's a really nice lady. I had a $25 credit at the Loopy U because I'm a Loopy frequent. You know,
groupie.
Every time you buy... If you're a Loopy groupie, you can save up towards, or it might even be...
No, you have to buy 5 shipments before you become a Loopy groupie.
Right, and then
you have to purchase a certain amount of money to get a 25% gift.
I think it's like $200 or $250. I can't remember, but I got a $25... I had a $25 credit on my account for like 9 months.
Yeah, you had it for a while.
And I just kept waiting for something that I really wanted. And this fiber cost about $44, so it's... plus shipping. So this is not something that I would have just bought. It's not I'd rather wait until I can go to a festival and buy it like loose so I can get a better price on something like this. But because I had $25.
$25 burning in our pocket.
Yeah, I just thought that defrayed half the cost, so it made it worth it. So yeah, that was from Loopy U. And then the second thing that I got, I know I love this one. This is something, it just intrigued me. This is from Wild Hair Fiber Studio, feel it. It's faux cashmere. It is made out of microfiber nylon. And I like it. I remember how the faux angora spun up?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to try it out. I haven't spun.
The colors.
I know. It's called Golden Oak.
It's pretty.
It's gorgeous. It's a little teeny bit of green, but mostly brown, orange, and like a deep red. Very fall. It's very soft. I haven't spun on my wheel with an unnatural fiber yet.
It'll be interesting.
I'm interested to see how this will spin up. But I mostly, right now, in my spinning life, I'm trying to try out a bunch of different fibers and bases, and I'm experimenting by doing different things like the fractal plying, just to see what it is that I like to do. So it was a good price. Wild Hair Fiber Studio is at www.wildhairfiber.com, and I can't remember how I found them. Oh, I know. There's a really evil feature on Ravelry that I have to tell you about. I don't know how I didn't know this before, but somehow you can click, when you're looking at the people that sell things, you can click on this button called Yarnies, and it shows you a picture of all the people on Ravelry who sell yarn and fiber. Like, it's kind of like your project page. There's a square, there's like page after page of squares. Then it has a little link to their store under their picture. So I was clicking on the pictures of people that the store name sounded interesting or whatever, and that's how I found Wild Hair Fiber Studios, and also how I found Atomic Blue.
Oh.
So, yeah, don't go there. I mean, if you don't want to be, I was sucked in, I was looking at stuff, I favorited a bunch of things. You can favorite these people, too, so that if you want to go back, it's like bookmarked. I bookmark a ton of stuff for when I have more money, but because I need to stop with the fiber buying, because I'm waiting on a shipment from Into the World, which should come next week. I bought a double dose in her fiber club.
Is it already to ship out?
It ships out around the 15th.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, that's just generally. It's not like it's specifically going, but I'm looking forward to getting that. And then I'm expecting a shipment from Atomic Blue, who has some really gorgeous stuff, too. So, yeah, I was out of control. But that's it for my Baubles and Bling. So now we're on Gossip and Innuendo. First thing first. Sorry. We got Christmas cards that came in the mail yesterday. Wait, which one is for... This is yours. From Enid, one of our viewers. Mine says, even though the odds were stacked against him, Tony was determined to make it home in time for Christmas dinner. And it's a lovely card. All the way from Great Britain. Yeah. From the UK.
Mine says, warning, reindeer clamping, 100-pound fine. I'm assuming it's like the car boot
like booting. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can assume. Reindeer clamping, 100, or towing type of deal.
Yeah. That's funny.
It is funny.
But yeah, Enid is one of our...
she's one of our faithful viewers. Who is
and she was on Knit Night.
Ravelry, right?
She's not on Ravelry. And she was on Knit Night.
She's on Knit Night. And, yeah, she said something that totally hit my blonde moment.
Oh. About Manchester. There's more than one Manchester.
Oh, I knew that, but I wasn't going into... Well, part of the reason was I really didn't realize she was from the UK.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh.
So that was part of the reason. I didn't understand when she was going at that.
I know.
No, I've heard of Manchester.
Thank you for the cards. They just came in the mail, like, I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
Doesn't surprise
if you wondered why we hadn't mentioned them before, that would be why.
So for Gossip and Innuendo, other stuff is, I told you I wanted to mention this last week, the Snuggles Project. Snuggles Project is a project that Yarnivore, Knitables, and Dramatic Knits are all doing it, but Yarnivore is the spearhead of it. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing, and I'm sure you've heard this on the other podcasts, is you're knitting a square for either a kitten, a dog, a medium dog, or a small dog. And the sizes are 14 by 14 for kitties or small dogs, 24 by 24 for medium dogs, and 36 by 36 for large dogs. All the information will be linked to Yarnivore's website through the show notes, because Knitables, Dramatic Knits, and Yarnivore are all doing prizes for any pictures that are posted, but do not double dip into those pictures. Like, you can't post for Knitables group and then post to Yarnivore group.
If you do a project, you can only post it to one of the three groups.
That's my understanding. It's January through February, and these snuggles are just squares of knitted, either knitted or crocheted fabrics that are going to not homeless shelters. Well,
dog shelters.
Yeah. Animal shelters.
Animal,
there
sorry,
we go. That's what I'm
cats
saying.
are involved as well.
Yes, animal shelters that so that when they're in their cages, they have something snuggly warm. So what I'm thinking is, I have this large granny square that's never gonna get
Oh
finished.
yeah, you can totally do
So
that.
I think by now it's got to be easily 36 by 36. The only thing I'm questioning is it's not very thick, and I think they'll accept it even though it's not. Like, most projects are done with 2 yarns held together or a bulky weight yarn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show it to Wendy, and she can help me out with that. So that is one thing I wanted to talk about. So go check them out and help out. We did it with the Mother Bear Project. We can do it with the animals.
Yeah.
So.
If you like animals, this is the event
Which
for
most
you.
knitters do. The other thing, I just want to mention the sock knit along.
Oh yeah, that's going well.
That is going well. We have a tag now, per someone's suggestion. Thank you, Melissa. K1H2 sock KAL. So K1H2 for Knit One Heart 2, sock KAL.
Yeah, tag your project that way.
That way, if you want to, well,
see everybody's
you
by
can
looking
see
at
everything.
the tag.
I want to reiterate that the pictures should please be of finished socks.
Yeah.
Before the prize will be drawn, I will go through the thread and delete all unfinished socks.
Yeah.
I'll leave them up for now so we can talk about it, but if there is pictures of any unfinished socks, they will be deleted.
And you don't have to have started the sock in January.
No.
You can go dig in your bag. Like, you could be like me and have 3 pairs of unfinished socks on the needles in the stash. Pull them out and finish them. And use the fact that you could win amazing prizes as a motivation for you to finish up some old projects.
And the other thing I want to mention is you can double dip, quadruple dip, triple dip into your projects. There is the Year of Stash Socks that does knit-alongs, Sock Knitters Anonymous that's doing knit-alongs for socks.
Yeah.
Solid Sock Group. Any sock group that does knit-alongs, you can use those socks in our group as well.
Yeah, we don't. We're
not, we're not on for, a color. We're not mystery socks. We're not a technique. We're just whatever socks you want to knit for the next 2 months.
It's mostly to just get people
to knit socks,
to finish up some old projects or to try socks for the first time if they haven't. And I am so pleased because it is only January, 11th? 12th. 11th. It's only January 11th, and I already have my pair of socks from the knit along. I am done.
Oh, see,
of course, I'm obviously not going to enter the knit along, but
no, we're not.
I'm knitting. I knit along.
We're not eligible for the prizes.
We're not eligible for the prizes.
But I just wanted to mention that we're okay with double dipping and stuff.
So. It doesn't bug us.
No, it doesn't bug us at all. But that's all I had to say about the gossips.
So the last thing that I want to talk about is something I mentioned last week. Somebody on Ravelry linked this article from the blog Mark and Angel Hack Life, Practical Tips for Productive Living. And this is not something I would normally seek out myself, but the link sounded interesting because it was to an article called 30 Things to Stop Doing to Yourself. And I'd like to think of 2012 as the year of you, which means you personally. This is the year.
I should be taking care of myself.
You need to take care of yourself, and it's wonderful to do things for other people, and you should do things for other people. And if you're a mom, you have to do things for other people. But this should be the year where you remember that you should prioritize yourself too. Don't put yourself so low down on the totem pole that, like me, I get a giant infection in my head because I'm not taking care of myself because I'm paying attention to everything else. You can't forget yourself. And this blog had this list of 30 things to stop doing that I thought was really wonderful and true. So I was going to discuss a few of them every week. And I gave Sheila the link to the blog. She can link to the specific one. But I thought I would do 1 through 3 this week. Number 1 is stop spending time with the wrong people. And what they say on the blog is, life is too short to spend time with people who suck the happiness out of you. If someone wants you in their life, they'll make room for you. You shouldn't have to fight for a spot. Never ever insist yourself to someone who continuously overlooks your worth. And remember, it's not the people that stand by your side when you're at your best, but the ones who stand beside you when you're at your worst that are your true friends. And this is really true. We were talking about it at Virtual Knit Night. You can have people in your life, I call them emotional vampires, who are always taking, and asking for your pity or asking for your help or asking for your attention in some way. But you'll start to notice that if something's happening with you, they don't want to hear it. It's very one way. Evaluate those friendships and think, is this really what I want to be? Because it can really take away from yourself if you are constantly having to help somebody who never wants to hear you. And my big example, I said, was when Sheila was in the hospital with her son, like 2 days after his transplant last year. She asked me every time I called her how I was doing. And I didn't tell her that I was having a really bad problem because, she was in the hospital with her son. But it like really touched me that she asked, because at an overwhelming time when so much is going on for you, it's not everybody's instinct to be both ways. So, thank you, Sheila.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, you're not the wrong people, so I'm not going to stop spending time with you.
I hope not.
Number 2, stop running from your problems. This is a big one. And this is what the blog said. Face them head on. I'm summarizing. It won't be easy. Nobody is able to flawlessly handle every single punch thrown at them. You're meant to get sad, upset, hurt, stumble, and fall. But that's the whole purpose of living, to face problems, learn, adapt, and solve them. And that's what makes us the people we become. So, if you have a problem in your life, for example, if you have a group of people or that you don't want to hang out with, or if you have an issue in your household that needs to be dealt with and you've been kind of ignoring it, or even something about yourself, if you know that your health is bad because you need to lose weight, face it head on. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but dealing with it instead of avoiding it is going to make you a better person. So I like that one. That's a good one. And the third one for this week is stop lying to yourself. And I'll read this one as a direct quote because it's short. You can lie to anyone else in the world, but you can't lie to yourself. Our lives improve only when we take chances, and the first and most difficult chance we can take is to be honest with ourselves. So I think that's a really good suggestion. Don't tell yourself everything's okay when it's not. That's my biggest one. Don't just shine stuff on and say it's going to be fine, when you know deep down it really isn't. And
Denial just ain't a river.
Don't look at your knitting project and say, this is going to block out, because it ain't going to block out, okay? Knitters have a problem with lying to themselves. So, yeah. But I really liked this article, and you can go ahead and read it. I'm going to talk about them each week because I want to improve myself. I did one year where I made myself smile more because I read an article that you will become a happier person if you just, whenever you think of it during the day, even if you're like in the grocery store or like sitting watching TV, make yourself smile like you're really happy. And you look kind of crazy, but scientific studies have shown it will improve your mood.
Oh, that's funny.
By making yourself smile. And that's a really small way you can work on being a happier person. And I'm kind of a cup half empty sort of a person, so it was really important for me to do something like that. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. But definitely check out the blog. It's interesting, and if you have any tips of things like that, advice, put it in the thread. Yeah. I'd be interested to hear it. I'm always looking for ways to try to be a better person.
So that's our note for the week.
Yep. On that note,
if you are watching us through iTunes, you can catch the show notes on knitoneheart2.blogspot.com. If you are watching us on iTunes, please leave a comment or a star rating for any of those podcasters. And thank you for the comments
that have been left. We really
I think we're up to 100.
Yeah, it's doing well.
We read every single one of them. I believe there's comments that you can read from outside of the U.S., which I cannot access on my iPad, but I will do so on my computer next time. Because they don't show up in the general.
Oh, they do?
I think
you have to go to iTunes UK?
Or outside of the U.S., I think. So, Let's see. You can reach us at knit1heart2@gmail.com if you need to get in touch with us. We are on Plurk as knit1heart2. We do share the account, and mostly I'm the one posting.
Yeah, I only post occasionally.
Let's see.
We
on
have
Twitter.
A post office box now.
We have a post office box.
I don't have the address with me.
But
I know it's
it.
P.O. Box 3321. So if you want to drop us a note or whatever, you can. Now we have a mailing address.
I'll put that on the show notes. We'll figure out how to put it on the sidebar over there.
Yeah, I will. I'll put it on there. I forgot to write it down.
So let's see. Where was I? Now that she
Sorry.
interrupted me in my whole rant. Knit1heart2 on Twitter for me. Knit1heart Wendy
No,
for
it's just
her.
Knit1 Wendy.
Knit1 Wendy.
You get that wrong.
I know. The Twitter account honestly is more of a personal account. So you won't get any updates there. But if you friend Wendy, you'll get, like, the Plurk updates.
Yeah, because Sheila's Plurk show up on my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I don't know why, but I'm, like, anti-Plurk and Twitter right now. I don't know. It's, like, one more thing that I have to do.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really tweet very much, but I do Plurk.
I never tweet.
I do Plurk.
I love to go on Plurk and look at it. I
read it all the time.
Oh, yeah, I should read it more.
But it's funny.
All the good news.
I tweeted about hearing the owls in my backyard, and my brother's like, "Shouldn't this be called a hoot?"
Your brother's a hoot.
Yeah, my brother's a hoot. All right, he's one for the one-liners. Wake and leaves.
Yeah.
So on that note, have a good week.
Yep.
Thank you. Any new viewers, thanks for joining us. I've been befriended by a lot of people on Ravelry.
Yeah, me too.
And
Thank you.
I am grateful for that. So if there are any new viewers, thank you for watching us. If there are any, if you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back each week. We really do appreciate it.
We do.
And have a good week.
Have a good week. Bye, everybody.
Knit with
Knit with
heart.
heart.